Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing today? Sinuses, it's that time of season. Allergy seasons are among us, and Lord, let me tell you, it's just one of those days. But I'm going to push on through. You're not going to worry about it. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Cookie Wookie. Whew. So we take a deep, 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 deep breath. Hey, Keisha. Let me see. Let me pull my chat up over here. Okay, there we go. Get everything. Today, I know for a fact I'm not going long. Going to be long, because unless these sinuses really let me go. Right now, they're just hanging on. They're just hanging on, but it's okay. We're going to slap some paint on some paper. We're going to do some things. Hey, Paula K. I wanted to show y'all my girl. Look at my tag. I had some other stuff too that I was going to share, but again, I put things up because while I was watching Eddie today, while I was adulting and everything, he had a great live. So if you missed his live, go check it out. He was playing with them sprays. So I got some sprays. I pulled out some sprays. I pulled out my shimmer and all the things and sprayed up some stuff. And Lord knows I don't know what I was doing, but I tried it. It's over there. It's good and wet. I tried to put it outside, but the wind was blowing, so I couldn't put it out there to dry. Y'all know me, I kind of don't want to put no heat tool on it, so I want to see. But this is another thing I did with these little silhouettes of a lady, and then some, things, making them into some tags, letting them kind of morph into whatever they turn into. Um, but I'm gonna paint today. I'm gonna slap some paint on some paper. I got a big piece today. Got a big piece, and uh, something else. There's always something else. But again, like I said, I cleaned my desk off to play while Eddie was on this morning. And I moved stuff around. So it's all over there and it's all over there. And I'm kind of not gonna move it. Hey Jackie, how y'all doing? Just popping in to say hi before my boot camp. All right. Hey Carla. Let's see, we gotta hit that live button over here. If y'all are just coming in, hit that live button. Even me. Notice. Gotta hit that live button. I thought it was so cute when on Eddie's live today had some throwbacks and he pulled out some pictures. It was great. Eddie has pictures on the ready like me. Like I can pull out a box of pictures like right now on the ready. Got them ready to go. I mean, I got to pull them out of the cabinet, but they're in photo boxes. He pulled his out real fast. Hi, Mariah. So I got my little drink that usually helps my sinuses kind of stay at bay for about a couple hours. So I started that right before, so I know I might be okay for a couple hours. That's about it. And then I hate being on here sniffling and things because I'll be saying excuse me the whole time. If I don't, then I'll hear my grandma will be like, "Do you need to go to the bathroom, young lady?" I'll be like, "No, I mean, you go to the bathroom, ain't nothing happening. It's just there." But y'all ready for my Titan buff? We ready for Titan buff? I wanted that Titan buff, so I got that Titan buff to go along with my dioxazine purple. Yes, I can't wait to open it. It just came. And then I got the other one. This one is the the violet oxide, but it's not the fluid one. Because remember, I got that fluid one, so I love that. But we got that one. So those are two that I use a lot, and I was buying them over and over and over. And when I counted up the cost, it was better to just go on and buy Titan Buff. And Titan Buff is only in golden. You get the other names in the other brands, like you get unbleached titanium, right? But that's not Titan Buff. And it is a difference in the color. I played with them all. And even with my beige, with Lucas Creel, there's a difference. So we got Titan Buff on deck. Now, I do need to write. Whenever I open it and start using it, I'm going to put a date on it, like I did my Dioxazine Purple. So that lets me know how long it lasts. And I got this on sale too. Got those over on Blick. And if you want to help a sister out, if you go and order some things, I got my link down there. I do, because I have an affiliate with Blick that helps me buy other paints. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, I left my water, but I got my coffee. Blue. Blue is gonna be my color today. Blue. Well, I take that back. Blue and some reds and some oranges, whatever gets on the brush. It's kind of what I'm gonna do. It's what I'm gonna be motivated with. That's what I'm gonna do. So how y'all doing today? Before I get to talking and started, oh, it is 3 o'clock. I was saying, well, oh, how y'all doing? Let's have a little check-in. How are you doing today? There's a lot. I had to do some adulting today. I was happy to have Eddie on. I didn't comment in the chat till I could sit down here in the studio. But it was great to hang out and listen and watch while I adulted today. So that was great. Then I went over to Amy and Tara were live. I didn't comment in the chat because I hate commenting when I gotta leave. So I'll tend to stay in the balcony. Like yesterday, I had to do some adulting, so I had to spend my time in the chat. I mean, in the balcony of PMR the studio. I just hate when I can't chat, y'all. I do, but I do appreciate being there. Giving some playtime and just really. I spend more time what do you call it? Commenting to myself because I can't get in the chat. So that's how it was. Like Eddie was talking today and he was spraying the stuff and I was asking questions. It's just like, oh, but I can't ask the question. And then by the time maybe he see it or he get the answer and I'll be done walked in the other room to do something else. So I was just like, oh, no worries. We will maybe look at the replay to jog some things in my head. But then I didn't worry about it. I just pulled out the sprays and a piece of paper, pulled out my Tim Holtz mat, and I just sprayed, answered my question. Right. So it was kind of okay. It was okay. It was okay. Okay, who do we have in the studio today, Karen? We have Fabriano, Daniel. No, today we have Rosa Gallery. So today we have Rosa Gallery. We do have and for this is my monochromatic palette. It is all brands in the blues. So if I slap down one of these blues and you need to know which one it is, I'll kind of try to let you know because I got the names of them over here. And then Fabriano paper. Faux shirt, faux show, faux show. And I'm pulling out my Princeton. Um, oh no, this one is Winsor and Newton. That's what this one is. Winsor and Newton filbert brush. And this one is my Tammy K collaboration filbert brush. So we're going to kind of do those. I'm going to be pulling different brushes out of here. I'm also going to be using my Emma LaFave big old round brush. It's really a mop brush, but I'm going to want a big petal. What else have we got that I'm using? Oh, and then just regular spray thing for some water. Too clean. This one has a little bit of tint, so I use some yellow in there. One is for dark, one is for light. So this one will be for light and this one will be for dark. It was too dark, so I had to clean it up. And what else? I think that's it. We're gonna get started. Okay, answered that. Feeling tired, but glad to be here. Oh, that's good. I'm happy that you're here. Hi, Vanessa. I've hit my 4 p.m. slump. I'm afraid I'll nod off. Forgive me if I do. Carla, I hope the sound of my voice, the tone, the softness relaxes you so much that you do nod off. And then when you hear a part that you maybe need to respond to, then you'll quickly wake up. How about that? Because I want you to be calm, be cool, and give yourself credit for just hanging out and being here. Now, if you're just coming in, y'all hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'm not going to rush you. Hang out with me for about an hour and decide if you even like me, if you want to continue to date me. Don't commit right yet. Hit that subscribe button maybe 15, maybe 30, 40 minutes in. It's okay. It's no worries. Because truthfully, I'm not everybody's cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a shot. Just saying. So, welcome in. Hey, Sal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about closed hearts and how closed hearts don't heal. And y'all know this is the Be Humble series in April that we're talking through some things. And in order to heal you, remember, this is a self thing. It is not what you're going to do for your husband, what you're going to do for your kiddos, what you're going to do for anybody else. It's you, self, self, nobody else. You, self. And everybody put in there, it's for me. Be selfish. I want you to be selfish. I want you to take care of you because closed hearts don't heal. I'm going to be speaking from my own place of having a broken heart, not one, not two, but several times. So I've had to do this work, I will say, over and over and over. So much so, yesterday I had to like literally have a conversation and I had to do it again. So it's not a one time and done. It's not a, oh, my heart was broken 20 years ago. I've healed and I'm good, right? Somebody may be a friend, or maybe, somebody, your husband might do something, your sister might do something, somebody. Then you got to go through that again. But the thing that I want you to realize is because you're still here, you know something different from the last time that your heart was broken. And then this time your heart is broken. Okay. So let's slop some water. I'm going to kind of go into some different directions with this water. And then we'll kind of come back. This is why I like dirty water. See, it's not really 100% clear, but we're just going to kind of plop it on there. Not going to worry about what it is, but it's on there. Right? That's your heart. Let's kind of look at it that way. You can't see the hurt, but you know that you're hurting. You don't know how you're going to fix it. You don't know how you're going to talk to the person who hurt you. You don't know, right? And sometimes you don't need to know. But what you do need to acknowledge is that you're hurting. How many of you have heard that hurt people hurt people? And I can tell you that for a fact. Um, Growing up, I got some hurt in my life. I became a very, very bitter young lady. And if you wasn't like close to me, you didn't know, and you would consider it being, oh, she's just mean and whatever. And I didn't care. I mean, I'm back to that place now. I don't care. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. But for a different reason. I'm not here to people please when someone steps on my toe and then get mad because I tell them that they stepped on my toe, right? But when you're talking about the cost of having a closed heart, I had to realize it wasn't because, excuse me, it wasn't because I was cold. It wasn't because I didn't care. It wasn't even because I was mean. Like, I really wasn't mean. But because somewhere along the way, life just hurt me. And you might can relate to that. Somewhere along the way, life just hurt you, right? Life disappointed you. Someone disappointed you. Life pressed on places in you where you used to be soft, right? And then now you just realize like you don't have a hill of beans. You're like, I ain't got time for it. And little by little, the heart began to close. So much so that sometime after divorce, people never get married again. Sometimes they spend a journey of just going through life, tearing up hearts. Been there, done that. Not always all at once, but my heart slowly, like after betrayal, Lord knows it closed after grief. And sometimes it even closes after giving your best to people, only to be left carrying pain you didn't deserve. You know you didn't deserve it. So today's conversation is going to be talking about closed hearts and how they don't heal. And it's going to be an honest conversation. And it's going to be more about my journey. And if it resonates with you, do chime in the chat. Somewhere along the way, I'm going to have questions. Y'all know I always got questions. But one reason is pain that was never truly processed, right? A lot of people did not heal their pain. They kind of tried to pack it in and keep going, right? They kept functioning and they kept showing up, which we're happy for that, but they were still just hurt. They kept doing what had to be done. And that's what I did, especially after losing my daughter and my granddaughter. I kept showing up. But inside the wounds, there were wounds that never received attention. Like, I remember I told you guys, even with my daughter and my granddaughter being gone now, well, this was a couple of years ago, I realized since my son had passed that I hadn't healed some things from their death. So I had to realize that there were some things that needed attention, right? And when pain is ignored long enough, the heart starts building walls around it. And Lord knows I've done that. And in the last 4 years, especially since I've been here on the ranch, I've started unpacking, literally unpacking um some of those spots. Like I had to think about, some relationships, like with me and my mom, had to have some conversations, had to have some hard conversations, because if we were to move forward, we had to address some things. Had to have some conversations with, some kiddos. Because in order to move forward, what we're not going to do is we're not going to move forward with you still slapping me and then wanting me to just love on you and act like everything's okay. We're not going to do that. And I don't want you to do that, nor do I want you to do that to other people, right? But betrayal does something deep inside of a person. It changes the way you kind of listen to that person. It changes the way you trust people. It even changes the way you enter relationships, whether it's who you're married to, who your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, who it is. But it changes the way you enter relationships. It changes the way you interpret love. It changes the way you interpret kindness. Like, what is somebody, they're being honest, but you don't trust. So honesty is not something that's in your wheelhouse. And then, people want to connect with you, but you are still so hurt and bitter from the last person that hurt you. You feel like everybody else is out to hurt you, right? Closed hearts don't heal. Closed hearts don't heal. Once someone you trusted has broken that trust, it can become very easy to say, I will never let myself be that open again. And I'm going to tell you from experience, don't be that closed, because you'll miss the very thing that needs to be in your life if you do. If I'd have stayed that close, Mr. McCoy wouldn't be in my life. If he'd have stayed that close, I wouldn't be in his life. Because both of us went through a heartbreak around about the same time. It was so interesting. But if we didn't give each other a chance, or give not even each other a chance, but give love a chance, again, we wouldn't be where we are now, almost 20 years later. But somewhere along the way, he took a chance. I took a chance. We both, I feel like, jumped off the daggum ledge at the same time. I feel like he jumped for it faster than me, though, because he saw something that he had been praying for. I still wasn't opening the door because I was just like, And then he did, something happened along the way, and I was just like, yeah, no, this the same old cookies. I don't want these cookies no more. I've warded off eating cookies, especially stale cookies. And then life happened. I lost my daughter and my granddaughter. Who was the first one on the scene? Mr. McCoy was. So here we are. But I still came from a place where I was still guarded. I still came from a place where I had been disappointed and my heart was broken. Now I had lost my daughter and my granddaughter. So I was even now grieving. So I was still like, oh my goodness, I don't want to hurt like this again. Like, oh, don't want to, right? So he had a lot of, I feel like he had a lot of work to do. Now that I look back on it, he had a lot of work to do. And I know that God gave me him because God gave me the one who can be faithful over all of my little funky attitude. Because I was angry. I was hurt. But I put it all inside. Remember what I said? Closed hearts don't heal. Which was why I didn't heal and wasn't healing because I had chosen to just kind of put up a fence. And then years later, I started singing that Karen White song, How Did You Get Here? Like, not that I was mad that you was here, but I needed, needed to get to my senses and be like, oh, Lord, I'm married now, living in a whole nother country. What in the world? So that's why I say, well, you have to deal with the hurt. You have to deal with what hurt you. You have to deal with who hurt you. And sometimes you hurt people who had nothing to do with your hurt, right? Things did not turn out the way that you hoped. The marriage didn't last. Been there, done that. Mr. McCoy had been there, done that. Friendships had changed. I lost a couple of friends after my daughter and granddaughter passed away because I wasn't the same person. I felt like some of my dreams fell apart because now my daughter and granddaughter were gone. My daughter was like that, that was my oldest child, was like my best friend. Like I had her early. We grew up together. Like I talked to her about things. So I felt like that friendship was gone. The dreams that I had for my granddaughter, the dreams I had for my daughter, they were gone. I felt like they fell apart. The prayer was not answered the way that I wanted. Like I didn't want that. The season that maybe that you thought would bring joy, it brought grief. That was where I was. Then there's the fear. How many of you know? And if you get this one, put in the chat, oh my God, I understand that. There's fear in heartbreak. Like once you've gotten your heart broken and then you want to go back again, but there's that fear. Hi, Jeanette. There's that fear. Fear of being vulnerable again. The fear of being misunderstood. The fear of being this was the one for me, being rejected. And then the fear of loving again and possibly being hurt again because I was hoping and trying, but I didn't want it to happen, right? Because once you've been hurt, vulnerability can start to feel dangerous. And many people would rather feel numb than to be exposed. And I didn't want to be exposed. I would rather sit there and fake it and act like I was okay instead of just sitting up telling you, like, no, my heart is hurt and I don't want to do this. And I didn't want to. But now, child, you can't pay me to be quiet about some pain because I've seen what keeping your heart closed can do. I've seen what it can do to friendships. I've seen what it can do to families. I've just seen what a closed heart can do, right? And sometimes just let me tell you the truth. People close their hearts because they're tired. They're tired of being the strong one, right? Tired of giving, tired of forgiving. I was tired of trying. I was tired of being disappointed by people. I was tired of hoping for something different and the different never came. I was just exhausted. And the exhaustion can make a person emotionally shut down. That's where I was in my marriage as far as like in-laws and things like that. And I was over it. I was tired of forgiving people for their bad behavior. Why? Because I was hurting. And instead of me saying, what you said was a little offensive. I just sit up and I will let people say what they want to say and just let them talk to me any kind of way. And it's just like, so now I'm just like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore because exhaustion can make a person emotionally shut down. And I had shut down for a while. And then, like I said, when my son passed away, I was definitely over it. I came into 2020 wanting different. It's like, Lord, how am I gonna get my joy back? How am I gonna do it? Like, what am I gonna do? Not anybody else gonna do for Karen, but what is Karen gonna do for Karen, right? Now, here's where we need to get honest because I had to. I realized I had to say that my a closed heart may feel safe, but there was an expense. It costs more than people realize, right? The first cost of a closed heart was my joy, but I was asking for joy, but my heart was closed. So I couldn't get the very thing that I was asking for because I was shut down. Because you cannot selectively shut off your heart. You do not get to turn off pain without also turning down joy. It's something that I get to do every time I pick up a brush and heal one brushstroke at a time. It's the same time I'm painting. Some things might not go maybe the way some people think they should, but they bring me joy. And that's all that was mattering. So it's just like, wait a minute. Okay, so I can't just turn off the pain. I got to go through this pain. Okay, but I want my joy. Okay, so what you're saying now, I got to do both. Okay, so I got to let the pain run through like a water coming out of a water hose. I got to let the pain run through. And then you're saying I'm going to get my joy? No. It didn't make sense to me. But what I had to also say is you do not get to numb heartbreak without also numbing the delight of the joy. So that was why I had to say, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay. So I can't avoid the sorrow without dulling my joy. Okay. And then you're saying I gotta be sad, then I'll get the joy. Is that what we're saying? That's what I was saying. These are the questions I was asking myself. But some people are no longer just protected from pain. You couldn't get joy because you're too disconnected from it, right? They're no longer deeply moved, no longer fully present, no longer open enough to really experience the peace. So if somebody comes along who can do those things, who can bring you the joy, the peace, and the love, and all of those things, but because your heart is closed, then your hands are not open. You can't use the water, you can't put down pretty colors. So therefore you can't get the joy, right? It will cost. Closed hearts can cost. Closed hearts don't heal. They don't. You can be in the room and still be unavailable. You can be in a relationship and still be emotionally distant. You can smile, talk, show up, and do all the things and still never fully let anyone in. Ask me how I know. And over time, that distance affects every relationship, friendships, marriage, family, community. It even affects how you show up for yourself. Now, I've been involved in some relationships with people that I know were broken. They were just broken from the rooty to the tooty, and they were not trying to heal. And when they show up and open their mouths, I could smell the BS that was getting ready to come out. And then for me, because I'm trying to do the work for me. It's just like, okay, well, you got to stay. You got to, maybe you can help them out. Nope. Because you know what they did? All they did was try to protect themselves, blame everybody else for their problems. And instead of taking responsibility to say, you know what, I'm just hurt. And please excuse me right now. I might say something that is very, very crazy because I'm just hurting. So you can give them a little grace and still love on them. And those kind of people, when they show up like that to hurt you, then most of the time you usually end up dismissing them, or you usually say something to them that's crazy, and y'all have a tiff. Next thing you know, it'd be like, oh, well, he or she said this and I said that. And then there you go. Relationship done. Friendship done. Marriage done. Community, they don't want you involved no more because you're just bad business. Okay. Or you always got to show up a number one. It's always got to be about you. It can't ever be about anyone else. Those are the kind of people who show up with closed hearts, who haven't healed. Now, they could be some great people, and most of the time they are, but they cost connection. Closed hearts that don't heal, they cost connection, and they cost you your peace. Now, that may sound backward because many people think closing their heart gives them peace. Lord knows I think it does. But it does not give peace all the time. It gives control, right? Now walk with me, don't get weary. Just listen to me right now. Control is not the same thing as peace. A closed heart is constantly scanning, constantly guarding, constantly filtering, constantly preparing for disappointment. That's not peace. That's the tension in disguise. Like you're just waiting. It's like I always use said the entertainer at on the Kings of Comedy. He's just waiting on somebody to be in his seat when he get there so he can go off on, right? Another cost of a closed heart is delayed healing. This is important. This is important, right? Okay. This is very important. Healing requires honesty. It requires a little bit of softness. It does require you to be truthful with yourself first. And healing requires feeling what you have, like you've been trying to avoid it for forever. But it's time to not avoid it, but kind of face it head on. And that was the one that I had to do because I was literally trying to keep myself from falling apart. And that meant I had to deal with a lot of things and a lot of people. And so instead of closing my heart after my son, like I did after my daughter and granddaughter, I couldn't. I couldn't walk around saying I'm fine because a closed heart will say I'm fine. Healing heart says I need to tell the truth. So that was me. I was like, I'm not finna accept all of this and act like this didn't hurt or act like what they didn't hurt. So I had to step into some rooms, had to say something to some people, had to acknowledge some things that people did that, hurt my feelings. And I was okay, but I was being truthful to myself. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to be truthful to yourself. If you have a relationship right now and somebody has hurt you or you feel like somebody's done you wrong, I want you to first get your journal or get a napkin, get a piece of paper, whatever you write on, however you want to do it. But I want you to do some self work first. I want you to ask yourself some questions. Like, if you're not fine, why aren't you fine? Ask yourself, is there something that somebody did to you? And then ask, how can you really navigate what they did? Could it change or something like that? Don't just go off on people. By the time I go off on you, I've done the work for me. And I'm just over trying to appease the other person, right? Because I'm over here doing the work, but you don't want to do the work. And all you want to do is keep coming in my door with a switch talking about, I'm going to beat you up again. No, we're not going to have that. We're not going to do that. That's not what we're doing. Okay. We are healing one brushstroke at a time. I like that. Okay. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit, because we're going to work just with this one piece. Okay. So where is that? Okay. There we go. Um, when you have a closed heart sometimes says, I don't need anybody. Closed heart says, I'm over it. Right. And I want you to take that and kind of eventually, if you have a closed heart, and you might not realize that you have a closed heart. A lot of people don't realize that they have a closed heart. I realized that I had a closed heart because I was doing um more quiet time, and it wasn't peaceful quiet time. When I would be by myself, it'll be like, I don't need anybody. But you need a healthy connection. So you don't need anybody in your life that's gonna beat you up or constantly remind you that you're still grieving. That's not what I'm talking about, right? But we don't want another cost of a missed opportunity. Closed hearts miss great opportunity because when your heart is closed, you can miss the very people, places, and moments that could really help you restore. So that's why I started like paying attention to the people that I had around me, paying attention to the people that were taking from me, paying attention for the people that I was spending a lot of time with, because I did not want to miss opportunities. I feel like, and this is what I was talking to myself with when I was walking yesterday. If I still had a closed heart and not wanting to really look at how it needed to heal, this is what I would have missed. I would have missed the relationship with PMR Studio. I would have missed relationships with a lot of you guys because I wouldn't have been over here on YouTube, definitely not being very transparent, talking about how my closed heart wasn't healed, right? So, because when your heart is closed, you will miss those opportunities. You push people away, safe people, because you no longer know how to recognize what safety looks like. You may sabotage good things because you're more familiar with disappointment than peace. You may resist love because pain taught you to expect loss. Hey, Michelle. And that is a painful way to live. Trust me, been there, done that. Because sometimes the blessings is near to you, but the heart is so guarded, you don't even receive it. Another cause of having a closed heart is bitterness. What we refuse to heal can turn hard inside of us. And if someone stays closed long enough, they can become cynical, suspicious, defensive, harsh, detachable, always want to be right in your life, always want you to go their way. Closed hearts don't heal, not because that is who they are really are, but because unhealed pain has been shaping their posture. Like they don't have a corset on to keep them straight and aligned with healing, with happiness, with being loved. Their heart is closed. This may be one of the deepest ones because there is the cost of disconnection. I think that's the part that I really, really had to hone in on because just didn't want to. All right. All right, we're gonna pull this and get these blues out. But listen, you don't have to stay closed. You don't have to stay broken. Like you can still be broken, but open up your heart so that the person that needs to be with you, they can help you get through a thing. Because you need to keep your heart closed because when you keep your heart closed, you might feel like you need to keep it closed. But you're going to miss out on so much. You stop asking what you feel. You stop asking what you need. You stop asking what matters to you. You stop checking in with your own well being. And now you are not just disconnected from other people, you're disconnecting from yourself. Now, that's the dangerous part right there. That is dangerous, being disconnected from yourself. That you just don't, you get people like, you stay home by yourself all the time. I love me. Let me tell you something. I love being with me, but I know that I'm not disconnected from the world because of the pain. I'm just being protective of my peace right now. So when I definitely show up and answer and talk to people, I'm giving you a little bit of my peace because why? I've chosen to love you. Because why? It was a high price to pay of having a closed heart after my daughter and granddaughter had passed away. I didn't want to deal with a lot of people. I know that now, right? So, what we do with all of this. First, we tell the truth to ourselves. We stop pretending the closed heart is just how we are. No, it's not. It wasn't. It wasn't that it was something that shaped. It wasn't something that wounded me. It wasn't something that disappointed me. It wasn't someone that said something that disappointed me. It wasn't that I was just exhausted. And until I told myself the truth about why my heart was closed, listen, Until you tell yourself the truth of why your heart is really closed, you will keep calling survival a personality. And second, I want you to look at it this way. We give ourselves permission to heal without shame. You don't have to worry about it. Tell yourself, listen, that last relationship took more out of me than I thought it would. I didn't even realize I was so daggum guarded because of that relationship. Be honest with yourself, right? There's no shame in saying I was guarded. There's no shame in saying I'm tired. There's no shame in saying I have been protecting myself for so long that I do not know how to soften anymore. That's probably when somebody be like, oh, she's just a real itch. Be like, yeah, probably is, right? And probably was, but I'm not that way no more. So you're not going to come over here with that same energy, making me feel like I'm still that person because I'm not. And that matters. Why? Because an open heart does not mean no boundaries. We got to set them boundaries because why? We don't want to have to get hurt again. And we need to have boundaries. We do. We do. Because the people that are not checking themselves and they're still serving from a hurt place, they going to continue to hurt you. Okay? It does not mean you don't have to trust anybody. It does not mean tolerating poor treatment. It means your heart is no longer ruled by the fear of it, right? It means you can be wise without being walled off. It means you can have boundaries without becoming bitter. It means you can stay soft without becoming weak. You know what that means? That means you're being humble. That means you're being mature. That means you're now healing. And that means you got strength that you never probably thought you could have, right? Listen, you have to ask yourself a hard question. Is my closed heart protecting me or is it now limiting me? That's the question. Okay? That's the question. Because there comes a point where what once protected you starts preventing you from living fully. Hey, Alec. And when I talk about living fully, that means you don't have you don't show up as maybe the person you were before the breakup or before, you lost that famous job or that job that really defined you. And you really didn't lose the job. God just probably said it's time for you to go somewhere else where one, you're treated with respect, and two, that you can be more of who you want to be without people telling you. I know for me, it was like you're angry all the time. That's what it was for me. It's like every time you turn around, it's just like you're angry. Just what? Why do I gotta be angry? I'm not angry. And after I start, especially now, if you tell me that I'm angry now, I'd be like, oh, okay, let me hold on, let me check this. Let me go back. I'm gonna pull out my book. Oh, I moved it. I'm gonna pull out my book and I'm gonna go through my book and be like, okay, we're having this conversation. I'm having this conversation today with so and so and so. They said that, okay, I'm angry, being guarded and disrespectful, all these things. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm be like, okay, Karen, are you being that way? And then I'm gonna have to go back. I personally go back and do a self check. This is the difference between a closed heart and an open heart. Closed hearts just continue pounding and pounding and pushing and pushing. A heart that is open to heal, they question. They ask questions. Be like, okay, am I protecting me? Or am I limiting me now? Or am I protecting myself from this person because I know this person has had the tendency in the past to really just rock my world? And then when that answer comes, I'm going to reply from the answer. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Because I want to live fully in my peace. I want to live fully in my joy. I don't have time to fake joy and I don't have time to fake loving on folk. I've done enough of that in my life. Okay? And when that happens, the wall is no longer helping me. At that point in time, it will be hindering me if I continue to walk it out like that, right? So stop it. The very growth, love, peace, and restoration you have been praying for in your life, it could be today. Today is the day. Me using my own journey could be you being free. Might have the key to opening up that heart because you didn't even realize you were walking in a closed heart. I didn't until I really started doing some inner work. So today I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you. The person who knows their heart has been closed. You may have had good reasons. I have good reasons to still have a closed heart. I have good reasons to still not want to deal with a lot of people. But you cannot fully live with a permanently closed heart. Not, and especially when you want other people to serve you and open up their space to you. You can't do it. You should not do that. You should not ask people to give you what you're not willing to give them. Okay? All right, we got that color. All right, come back now with some other stuff. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit because I don't like wet on wet. But if you're anything like me, you may have lived through things that changed you. You may have survived things that made you very cautious, and that's fair. You may have cried some tears that nobody's seen. That's fair. You may have carried a lot of grief, betrayal, disappointment, fatigue from a lot of people, from a lot of situations for a very long time. I'm not dismissing any of that for you or for me. But what I am saying is this, I'm saying it with a whole lot of love, but I do want to be truthful about it. You just cannot fully live with a permanently closed heart. You cannot fully love, receive love, connect, create, and fully heal while staying emotionally locked down. Something has to open. Mine opened slowly. I opened it very carefully. I was very careful who I put in my life, who I let in my life, who I continue to let in my life, who I have honest conversations with at times, even if it opens one prayer at a time. Because y'all know sometimes I'll be like, God, I ain't with you today. I don't want to talk to you. Just leave me alone. I don't have time to pray today. I don't even want to journal about it. I don't even want to talk about it. It still happens. It's still that way for me now. But I still have an open heart, right? But my heart still has to be open because life lives on the other side of the open. Peace lives on the other side of the opening. I realize that healing lives on the other side of open. Walking around the ranch, I couldn't be closed up and tent and all the things. I wouldn't enjoy the walk. It'd just be for naught. And then having new people come into my life, the connection, it lived on the other side of me being open. And the one thing I wanted most in life was the joy. And that definitely I couldn't receive joy with a closed heart. Staying closed, yeah, it has its risk. You might feel like you're protecting yourself, but it's a risk. If you're willing to take it, you go ahead on. Keep your closed heart. It's cool. No worries. The risk is that you'll survive everything. Like you'll never be hurt again. But you'll never really return to who you are. And people will never really know who you are because you don't even know who you are. The risk is that you protect yourself from the pain, but you're going to miss a whole lot of love. You might guard your heart so tightly that nothing beautiful can ever get in. That means you won't have great connections. And I feel like that's a high price to pay. So let this be the moment where you stop glorifying your emotions, distancing yourself from people or calling people and telling them how bad they are before you even check yourself, right? Because real strength is not pretending you do not feel. Real strength is not shutting down. Real strength is not pushing everybody away. But real strength is having the courage to say, I'm sorry for being a jerk. I'm sorry for just trying to tell you my truth about me and putting it off on you. You have to have the courage to stay open and wise. You have to have the courage to believe that not every future experience has to be a repeat of the past. My grandmother always says, keep living. And it used to kind of be like, okay, well, okay, I want to keep living. But now, living life after 50s, over in my 50s, I really take strength in keep living, right? So today I want you to consider that. Here's some questions. Where has your heart closed? Where has your heart closed? Who are you when you are guarded? Like that's a powerful question. Who are you really? Like when you are really guarded and you don't let anybody in and you're just nothing is what you want it to be. You don't want it to be what you, well, let me put it this way. People want something from you, but you're not willing to give it. What is that costing you? Why are you so guarded? And what joy have you delayed? What peace have you resisted? And this one right here, what love have you struggled to receive? What part of yourself have you been keeping hidden even from you? There's some questions that journal about them later. Come back to the live, come back to this live and replay those questions and sit down and answer them for yourself. Because I want you to be honest about that. This one I say you can sit in a pile of poop and be just as happy as a pig in slop. Because when you have an open heart, you're not gonna be in that poop long. You might not even make it to the poop because somebody will love on you or somebody will see you and they be like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, let me go get Karen. She ain't got to go sit over there. Let me get her and bring her over here. Because you have an open heart. You shared your heart. And Lord knows I've shared a lot of me with you guys because I believe in having an open heart. Closed hearts don't heal. And in that journey, you have to be humble with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. I don't want that way. Get out from there. You got to be honest with yourself. Sometimes being honest with yourself means you got to tell yourself, hey, you're a jerk. 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 And you got to accept being a jerk. You do. But it might be the key to opening your heart to let wisdom lead you. Let the truth lead you. Let peace finally come into you. Maybe let God heal what pain tried to kill you. What heart, whatever it was that hardened your heart. Maybe it's the time to say, you know what, Lord, please open up my heart so that I don't have a closed heart because I don't want to have a closed heart. You know, all of these are things that I had to deal with because life did some dealing and I did some closing. And I did not want to open up. I did not want to love again. I did not want to do any of the things because being open meant that I would get hurt again. The healing wasn't rushing into, it wasn't going to rush into the closed space that I had. It waited. It wanted to wait till I wanted to give it permission to come in. It waits for a small opening, a quiet invitation. And sometimes that invitation looks something like, okay, I can't run no more. I can't do this no more. Sitting with these thoughts and, okay, that question was hard, but I really had to tell the truth to myself. Healing begins to move. And when you usually let it go, then you learn to receive it again. Because y'all, when we were children, we loved attention that we got. We loved for our parents to dote on us. But then somewhere down the line, we kind of got hurt, or we started school and we got picked on, and we didn't like the way that felt, so we stopped showing up little bit by little bit. Then when you got older, you fell in love. You got hurt. He hurt you. She hurt you. You was like, oh Lord, I don't want to do that again. First time out the gate, you got hurt. Second time out the gate. Third time, just like, oh hell with this. I'm not dealing with now another one. I don't want to. But God says that we all must be loved. Just allow the moment to be so that you can still protect yourself, but you learn from it, right? You'd be like, okay, I know what that looks like, so I don't want to do that again, right? When people start saying little crazy things, you'd be like, all right, I heard that before. You don't have to close down because some people might really mean that they love you. Some people might really mean that they want to spend the rest of their lives with you, but you have to give them an opportunity so that they can. so that you can what? Receive peace and joy. You can receive love without questioning it. Will it last? I'm trying to tell y'all what I did. I've been in my marriage now going on 17 years, but I've been with Mr. McCoy 20 years. I had to allow the moment to be what it is. And I had to say, I was hurt. And even some things that he would do and be like, oh, I didn't seen this before. But instead of keeping it to myself, I had to share with him. I'd be like, yo, look here, dude, you be doing such and such and such and such. That kind of push a little button. And in a relationship that I had in the past. And so then when I shared that with him, then he can be like, oh, didn't know. It was just who he was. He. So then after that, I was just like, okay, when stuff start happening, Karen, you need to talk. You need to say whatever it is. Open, open heart, wanting to receive, right? So everybody doesn't want to receive, but I want you to love from a place of an open heart. Don't be overwhelmed. Just be present in it. Love in your creativity, love in your current environment, love in the way that speaks to yourself so that if something does come up, you can be open enough to trust the person or persons or friendships or boss or whatever, whoever it is, to tell them, dude, look here now. Every time you tell me that I'm angry, you're like, you just seem like you're so angry. I'm gonna tell you, there's a boss that I had in Colorado. Every time she say that, I just used to get pissed off. So you can not, like tell me what it really is. So that we can talk about that, so that we can be open enough to allow the communication. Then that means that your heart isn't closed anymore. Openness allows love to return in, natural ways, right? Like I feel like me painting right now, it just feels like it's natural to me. I can't even explain watercoloring, to a lot of people because I just do it so intuitive. Just slap the paint on the paper because there's no rhyme or reason to it, right? And that's how having an open heart is. You go from having a closed heart to having an open heart because it's not forced, it's not overwhelming, it's just present. You don't have to rush. You just have to love being in the moment. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Jeanette said, I had a creative writing professor who talked about how to deal with heart issues without becoming closed off like a rock. Stayed with me. Yes, Lord. Because sometimes we can have pain, especially when it's involving another person. And especially when you trust somebody and they're your, like, I'm gonna say, your person that you look up to or whatever, when they do something, you might feel like they just hurt your world. Right? Like I just had a situation that happened yesterday. I've just had to back up from some things because I don't feel the love in the situation. And all I feel is there's a lot of pain from that side. So that environment, instead of the old Karen putting up the wall and saying, oh, I'm done with this person. I'm not going to fool with this person. I'm just going to give the person time to decide what they want because it has nothing to do with me. So let me give you some practical ways to stay open because what Jeanette said that made me think of, I had to flip over here and I'm gonna share some of my ways. I pause before I close off. I notice when I feel myself wanting to go back and be that old person, I tend to pause. And then I'll look at it. Again, I question whoever the person is and whatever the situation is. And then I don't make any rash decision. Now, I will cut you off for a time. There is a time. Hi, Ellen. Right? And then the other thing I do, I'll speak kindly to myself first because sometimes it's not always about what the other person says. It's not always about me. Sometimes what they're going through, it's about them. But if they're striking out against you, then you have to pause. You know what I'm saying? You got to pause and speak kindly to yourself and tell yourself, be like, wait a minute, this ain't got nothing to do with you. So just don't worry about it. So the way you talk to yourself shapes how open your heart is in these kind of situations. And then I want you to allow small joy. Don't wait for the big moments in life to come. I want you, celebrate the small moments, right? And stay present. Openness lives in the present, not the past, not what is going to be, but right here. Stay present. And for me, y'all already know I'm going to slap some paint on some paper when I feel like I'm getting into a place where I'm going to revert back to the old, broken, closed off Karen. I'll create or I'll journal anything that's going to allow my heart to express the joy that I feel, right? So these are some of the things that I want you to take time for. I want you to really, really, really hear, right? The heart is a sensitive vessel, the most one of the most important parts of our body. And when we don't treat it right, it tends to kind of fight back. Along with all of that comes high blood pressure, stress, the stressors of the world. We don't want that. You don't have to allow those things in your life. You don't. But what I want you to do is be honest with yourself. I really want you to be honest with yourself. That was the main thing that I did. And what I would do, because I was a people pleaser, I would always say, but I didn't want to offend, or but I just wanted to keep the peace. And so now I don't want to keep the peace. Not if it's at the expense of my joy, my happiness, or my heart. I'm not here to keep the peace that way. I don't want to. It's just not fair to me, and it's not fair to whoever the other person is. And right now, most of the time, it's not fair to Mr. McCoy, because if I have to have a conversation with somebody who wants to put me in a place that's going to really tick me off or piss me off, then that's not going to be cool for him. And I've learned that he shouldn't have to suffer for somebody else's. So be intentional. Be intentional with yourself. Be intentional with your heart. Allowing your heart to say, maybe this experience, maybe I can experience that joy again. Maybe I can love again. Maybe, I don't know. Right? But you got to ask yourself, do you want to love again? Is it something you want? Because I mean, the answer might be you don't want to. But if you don't, be honest with yourself that you don't. So therefore, when you get in these situations with other people, you don't put your crap on them. Because you know what they say, when it hit the fan, whoever's in front of it, that's who gets it. And that's not fair to other people. And in the past, I've just dealt with people that want to continue to hurt because they want to just they want to be right for one. And I'm just over here on this side of the world, just wanting to be humble in who I am. And it's not going to work. It is not. Okay. That's pretty. Now these right here are peonies, and I'm gonna probably, you notice I didn't worry about them, but I'm gonna go in. Don't kind of, because I wanted them as open as they could be, because the closed, we're talking about closed hearts don't heal. And so I wanted the flowers to be as open, like they're buds and they're wide open, because your healing lives on the other side of open. Right? And today's conversation was centered on one gentle truth: healing doesn't force its way in, it flows where there is openness. So you think about flowers now. The flowers are springing in, they're opening up, and you get to not see them right before you, but you might go in today and then tomorrow you go out and then that flower is opened up a little more. Like my roses, oh my goodness, they are opening up, and they're so beautiful, right? So today we explore what it means to be open, not as something loud or overwhelming, but as quiet as it could be, because it starts with your willingness to feel, to receive, and to allow something good to reach deep, deep down inside of you, right? We talked about how healing begins to move when you give it space, when you soften your grip, when you allow yourself to experience peace without questioning it. We reflected on the beauty of learning to receive again, receiving the joy, the love, in the calm moments without resisting it, without putting up the guard. We also touched on loving again, starting in simple ways through your daily life, your creativity, and the way you show up for yourself, right? That's just how it works. No resistance. We don't want any resistance here. We also touched on loving again, having a relationship. I shared mine and Mr. McCoy's, right? Starting in simple ways. We both agreed in our own separate lives that it was time for us to find someone to love and make us happy or whatever. Then here it is, we bump into each other, right? You might be create learn how to create something new. So learn how to love again in something different with creativity. I continue to fall in love with watercolor over and over and over again. It never gets old to me. And then if it does, then I tend to try to pull out the colors and then just be very intuitive with the colors, just no rhyme or reason. They always tend to come back to flowers. I don't care what I do, but I don't resist it. We walk through practical ways to stay open, pausing before shutting down, choosing kind self talk. Don't talk bad about yourself. Don't tell yourself you're a bad person. None of that. And I want you to embrace small moments of joy. Give yourself credit for just showing up today. Ellen said she had a good visit at the dock. That's joy right there. Stay present in the moment and stay present in creating from the heart. Hey, Amy Kay, right? All of this is the core of not having a closed heart. You don't have to rush your healing if you've been hurt, if you've been broken. I'm not asking you to rush it. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. This is a self thing. You only have to allow a little space for your heart to open again, day by day, second by second, whatever you choose to do, because your healing is already there. It's already going to be a great future. You just have to navigate through the murky waters. You just have to navigate through the dark places without a flashlight sometime, because your healing is already there. It just needs your permission so that you can do a thing, right? Okay? Okay. That's all we got. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. Closed hearts don't heal. Oh, so I take a big, big breath. And it's the core, whatever the core is. If you might be questioning yourself right now and be like, or you might be like, I ain't got no closed heart. I don't have a closed heart. I'm very open. My grandmama also said a hit dog will holler. Ooh, Vanessa say I see new stamps in the flowers. Ooh, you do? Hmm. See, that's when I have to sit here and I turn it 50 different ways to be like, I think it's just my same flower. But again, that's just me. If Mariah on here, she'd be like, I do too. But my flowers tend to kind of flow with my feelings. And then afterwards, usually I come in and do a little detail work. I don't know. But yesterday, like I said, I had a situation yesterday and I had to question myself real a lot. And then I thought, this is the other thing. I was just like, when I went to go and pull up for today's, I was like, closed hearts don't heal. Well, golly gee, buttercup. And I went back through my notes and it's just like, nope, you are not going to do that to yourself. And I'm just like, well, look at here. So I always say that those are God moments and God knows what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And I just need to show up and be the vessel that He uses. And sometimes I get mad because it'd be like, I don't want to be the one that have to teach people lessons. Use somebody else. Why you can't use somebody else? And he'd be like, well, why can't you use you? Here we go. All right, I like that. I like that. So got all of that. Now the only color is would be possibly missing is yellow. Yellow, yellow, kiss a fellow. Maybe, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But oh, and these are yeah, these are my rows of gallery, just in case I didn't say that. All right, let me go. Say Zal said people try to talk to me about old things. I'm not interested in looking for my soulmate and have to work yet for 10 years. Looking for my oh, I'm not interested. I'm looking for my soulmate and I have to work yet for 10 years. I have not patience for ignorant people. And don't. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Caught up. Ooh, that was a lot, y'all. It was a lot because it was a personal thing. Y'all know usually the personal stuff really, 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 really hit me. Hit me right there in the gut sometimes. Hit me. Be like James Brown. Hit me one time, two times. Dun, dun. Yeah, so. All right. Anybody got any questions? You have any questions? While we're just slapping this paint on this paper. I'm in the process of making I will say it's a junk journal, but it's a semi-junk journal. I'm not using a whole lot of junk. That's why I just call mine journals because I don't make a whole lot of junk journals. But I'm making it for someone who is going through something, and I want her to be able to have a journal to to keep up with things so that there she can see like the joy spots because we don't have a whole bunch of maybe joy moments when we're going through things in life, but when you do have one, like my doctor's appointment I had this month. Every time something gets a little wonky in my on my journey, right? Or this week, or this week, I think back to how good my doctor's appointment was because that was the best. That's the best thing that's happened to me this month, and it's really the best thing that's happened to me since I've been on this diabetic journey. Like, so whatever you have that sometimes is your highlights, put it on a sticky note. Put it on a piece of paper so that way you know what brand of paint is that. This one is well, the blues. The blues are a number of things, but these that I've used overall is um I love all of those. Yeah, the blues are a number. They're all of my different brands of all these are all the brands of paints that I have. These blues. So this monochromatic palette is all my blues put in one. And this one is my Rosa Gallery. So if there was a certain one, let me see which one I dug in. I think it was, let me turn it back this way. This one, that one, this one is Windsor and Newton. So the one that I put down that was there was Windsor and Newton. But if I stuck that paintbrush in one of the other ones, listen, I don't know. You have to go back in the chat, go back in the video, and then in the comments below, be like at what time stamp it was, then I can tell you. But they're all different ones. I love my monochromatic. Mono meaning one, chromatic palette. I do, I do, I do, I do. So, but this is the time. Hey, hey, Saul. This is the time. If you are new to the channel and you've been here for this hour that I've been hanging out, right? You've been here and you are not subscribed to the channel. Now's the time I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button because you were here for an hour. Now's the time to make that decision if you want to come and hang out for some more joy, peace, love, and grace. Because that's what we do over here in Create Joy Studio. Um, that's what I do, healing one brushstroke at a time, right? And like I said, I like for people to kind of hang out with me before they decide or they commit. I don't want to be just in the subscribe listing and then you don't come back because then YouTube come back and then they take it. So we want to have people that are going to come, come back and hang out with us. I'm just saying. Bye, all in chat had so much. All right, Ellen, see you later. Thank you for stopping in. It was good to see you, and I am happy for that great, 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 great doctor's appointment. So I do have something I want to share. What did I do with them? Oh, I'm gonna share the cards that we did on Monday because I want this to dry a little bit more before we slap some more paint on it. Because this is why I've created my stamps collection, Joy, Peace, Love, and Grace. Because sometimes you need visual reminders, right, on your page. That even in the opening of the heart, you're having a closed heart that doesn't heal. So this is where I personally have done the work for myself, right? You're still worthy of joy, right? You still deserve to have peace. You still need to surround yourself with love, and you still are covered by grace. And we got two joys because we did two joys, but we got joy, love, peace, and grace. And these are the flowers we did and turned them into cards on Monday. And I went back and I cut that one out. But I gotta show y'all something. I want you to always surround yourself with joy, peace, and love. And I want you to give yourself grace, for real, for real. Because closed hearts don't heal, right? Closed hearts don't heal. And I had to give myself a whole lot of grace. I had to love on me before I could ask anyone else to love on me. And I had to decide what peace looked like for me before I can even tell people, hey, you're disrupting my peace. And my joy is the thing that surpasses all understanding, all the things. If I don't like you, or if I got to deal with you or hang out with you, that's where my joy is going to kick in and be like, hey, plug into me right now so you can hang out right here for right now, right? But I will not disrupt my peace, and I will not be in a place where I'm not loved, and I will not be in a place where people refuse to give you grace, and they don't even give themselves grace. So you think they're going to give you grace? So no. So that's what it looks. These are my stamps and my signature. Like, this is my handwriting. And these are called inspiring words. You can get the stamps over at PM Artist Studio, right? But this is what the end result looks like right here. That's what they are. So I want you to know that you're still worthy of joy. You still deserve to have peace in your life. I don't care what has happened to you. And always surround yourself with people that love you, right? And when you can't do another thing, you just can't go another further, give yourself grace. See, we was just joy, peace, just stamping it out. This is gonna be in a book. This one's gonna be in a book. So I embossed them. I was just having fun. And remember, if I didn't open my heart, if I would have kept a closed heart, and like I said, closed hearts don't heal. If I would have continued to stay closed, then I wouldn't have been open enough to receive the relationship. Like I said earlier with PMR the Studio, these wouldn't be available. Karen, please, my daily yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, yes, please, 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 Cookie, yes. Because if there anyone that's in the chat that hasn't subscribed to Tara and Amy's channel, please put them in the chat because we are trying to get Tara to 1,000. Yes. But look at that. Hence is there's the love. We show love for each other, right? Because they over there at Tara and Amy's channel, they use their things. They can show you how to use them in a journal, right? They can show you how to use them way more differently than I do, maybe. But I just wanted to show you what I was doing. Look, this was an envelope right here. Look at my girls. Those are silhouettes because y'all know I'm all about these silhouettes right now. And I just stamped all over it. This was just an envelope, and I just ripped it open and stamped some love all over it. Then we had these right here. Just continued stamping. Look at my girls. I was working on the silhouette. And this one, I was working with my tool because I have a tool. Y'all know about tools, right? This is the rabbit thing or whatever by Simon Hurley, where it keeps the ink, but it did a great job. All of these they did good. So when I cut them out, it'll work out, right? So there's that. So I want you to give yourself some grace, guys. Give yourself some peace. Get you a cup full of joy. Love on yourself. But do. Cookie Wookie just put in there. Our super awesome friend Tara is trying to reach 1K subbies by her birthday, which is May 1st. Do hit that link in the chat right there. Right there. It's right there. Cookie put it in so that you can go subscribe to the channels. Amy and Tara, they're a dynamic team. Love them. Owl and Bear, Donkey. I was over there today, Amy. I just didn't say anything in the chat because I couldn't. I get to chatting and I was doing some adulting. So I want to inspire each of you. If you feel like you have a closed heart, open it. There's so much more you'll gain when you have an open heart. There is. There's just so much more. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just telling you from a place where I've been. Don't struggle. Don't struggle with it. Open your heart. Open your heart. Hey, Gray. Gray like Gray. How are you? Checking in and lurking. It's okay. I like the lurk. I like it. I like it. All right. Let's see. Can we go back over here? So that's what we did on Monday. And if you've missed Monday's live, go back and check it out. I actually painted these. We did all of these on live. I haven't put them on a base, but these are going to go in my Mother's Day collection. So that I'm going to put some, I guess I need to get to putting, put these on there, and I'm going to put them in packets, I guess, and put them over on my website. And so if you want Mother's Day cards, handmade Mother's Day cards, if it's any of them that looks great and wonderful to you, I'm going to put them over on my website. I'm trying to say, like the same thing I said Monday, I'm going to make tomorrow my do it day. That's what I'm going to say. Tomorrow's going to be my do it day so that I can put it over on the website and make it live, meaning, it'll be cards and they'll be in sets. Oh, look, I've covered that one up. See how I went back and stamped piece, put all of them on there. But I have fun making these. They bring me so much joy, right? And and another thing I was doing, I realized after the live on Monday, I did a lot of self-criticism when I went back. And I was just like, I had to let that go, right? Because how many of you struggle with, criticizing your own stuff? Self-criticism, sometimes you just your own worst critic. So I had to go back and give myself, that's why I went back and start doing all of this. It's just like, no, girl, love on yourself. You're great. You're wonderful. You're fabulous. You're the bomb. You're bougie. You're all the things. I had to be willing to listen to myself. I had to adjust so that I can continue. And that is how I actually walk this journey out. Y'all be like, that's why I be over here trying to tell y'all. I'm on the struggle bus some days too. I'm on the people pleasing. Oh, I don't want to say this to her because I don't want to hurt her feelings. Because the other alternative is to just go off on somebody and just cuss them out, and that ain't what I want to do either. Because remember, hurt people, and I'm not into hurting people anymore. I'm not. I don't want to have false humility. I want to be very humble in my walk and in my journey. Okay, and I want you guys to do that too. Because humility, sometimes you gotta tell yourself the truth in humility. Humility is truth. Being humble. Remember, be humble. Don't hide. Be humble. Be out. Be out. Tell yourself, hey, girl, you're making a bad mistake. Don't say nothing wrong. Just be okay. Okay? Go slap some paint on some paper. Go slap some paint on a jelly plate. Do whatever you need to do so you don't go off on somebody. And then later on, let them know, hey, I just saved our whole relationship because I was getting ready to just go and toss you to the sharks. And I do know that that's not what I want. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to go and we're going to kind of do, let's right there. Put that right there. Put it right there. Right there. Oh, that's very beautiful. because it's not complete until you get some yellow up in there, up in there, up in there. There we go. Look at that. I remember I told y'all my medicine was going to go work for about an hour and a half. It's starting to kick out. It's starting to say, "Hey, girl, I'm done." Let's put some- And that's about it. That's about all the puppy was gonna do too. I hear him barking. Look at that. Put some right there. Kind of bloop bloop bloop. Put that brush there, there. Oh, that. There we go. Right there. Boop 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 boop. Come there. There we go. Can y'all believe it is April? Today is April 22nd. You might as well say April is gone. I just cannot believe April. I'm already working on May content. May, June, July is gonna be kind of, you might see my thumbnails with a question mark on them. And I'm gonna know what it's gonna be on the back end, but I want it to be kind of conversational, to be the conversation to be very, very because May is Mother's Day month, not Mother's Day, Mother's Day month. I celebrate the whole year. That's just not one day for me. I'm a mother 365 days of the year. I don't know how in the world they just decide to make it one day, but I acknowledge it. But anyways, I think we're gonna go in here. Yes, let's get this color. But May is gonna be about, pretty much moms and all the things moms do, good, bad, and indifferent. Because everybody doesn't have, the same story. And it's gonna be kind of releasing some people, May. Today's Earth Day. Let you know, I don't know. But happy Earth Day. Didn't know. Okay, there's that. Let's put some in there. Pop some around there. And put a bit in there and right there. Boop, bloop, 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 bloop. Up in there, up in there. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Kind of want to play with my jelly plate, but again, I told y'all that medicine done stopped kicking in. Whew. And the other thing is, I got a sinus headache. I had, so I think that's the worst. I don't have headaches, but sinus, when I get a sinus headache, that just really just, now that makes you want to just go somewhere and close up and just, oof. But it's that time of year. And I've been outside walking, on, so I can't blame nobody but myself. Putting a mask on never helped. So I stopped trying to do that and I just embrace it and just be like, okay, fine. Oh, there. Oh, that's beautiful. That's it. There we go. Kind of come down there. The same color. I said I was going to go to the beach. Now I'm going to tell you what does help me is to go to the beach and the salt water, the air, the salt in it, in the air. That helps, which is why I try to keep where you, what's that thing? I don't have a neti pot, but I have a thing that kind of cleanses my sinuses out. That helps. But really, there's nothing better than like taking a walk on the beach and just inhaling, which is something we need, you need to do just to relax anyway. So I might just do that because it's going to go on for a minute. All right, there's that. And other thing, sometimes when you painting, if you don't like see how this has that wash, I mean, I don't know what to call it, what it looks like. It's streaks and you don't like them, just kind of sometimes just go down because they do add to the flour. Don't wash them all the way out. Just kind of go around them, and it kind of adds character. I like it. I don't take them all out. Kind of looks like shadows on the flower. That's what I was trying to say. Looks shadowy. See, now look at that. Look at that, how that looks. Those are some pretty colors. I must say myself. I must say myself. Them some beautiful colors. I have to get ready to go. Maybe before the live. Forward to seeing. To check. All right, Zal. See you later. I will see you later. I'll be getting off of here because my throat. If I can't show up 100% to y'all, I just don't be want to show up half. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? And I can sit here and do this without talking. Ain't care. But y'all might not want to sit here and watch me paint without a conversation. There we go. Ugh, there we go. I like that. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm not going to stay long. I'm not going to stay all day today. I figure we're just going to move on. We're just going to move on. But remember, closed hearts don't heal. And if you're just coming in, go back and check out the live version. The replay, and leave comments if you have any questions, because I know it, excuse me, it's not easy opening up. It's not. And I'm telling you from experience, it's not. Um, but there are also so many reasons for having an open heart. And I just want you to be open to love again. I want you to be open to feel again. I want you to not limit your ability to receive joy. I want your relationships to go deeper, not just surface level. I want you to begin to live unguarded instead of being guarded. I want you to heal without any delay. And I want you to carry joy instead of carrying the weight of something that is no longer even in your life. It's not necessary. And I don't want you to miss meaningful connections with people because you choose to have a closed heart. I want you to connect with yourself so that you can stop disconnecting from everybody else. Tell yourself the truth, because the truth, it needs to be said. Closed hearts is understandable, but it's not sustainable if you maybe want a full life, right? So y'all have a great day, and remember, strength, there is strength and wisdom, but there is also strength and openness. And real growth lives where those two meet. That's how I was able to meet you guys. So y'all have a great day. And as always, thank y'all for coming, hanging out. And everybody that's not feeling good, the sinuses and stuff got you going. I'm with you. I feel you. But still stay soft. We still got this. Love you guys. I'll see you all. See you around the tube. Bye.